Hi guys, welcome to Nityana Walks. Today we are discussing general awareness questions. In last sessions we completed computer awareness. Let's start the session. First question: when did the first passenger train run in India? That is option B, 1853. The first passenger train in India ran between which two stations? That is option A, Bombay and Thane. Next question: who was the Governor General of India when the first train service was introduced? That is option B, Lord Dalhousie. Next question: when was the first electric train introduced in India? That is option A, 1925. Next question: which is the oldest operational steam loco in world still used by the Indian Railways for the heritage runs? That is option A, Fairy Queen. Next question: in which year were the railway budget and general budget separated for the first time? That is option A, 1924. Next question: in which year was the railway budget merged back with the general budget? That is option C, 2017. Next question: which was the first railway station in India? That is option B, Boribandar. Next question: which was the first fully air conditioned train introduced in India, 1956? That is option C, Purva Express. Next question: who is known as the father of Indian Railways? That is option A, Lord Dalhousie. Next question: the first metro rail in India started operation in which city? That is option C, Kolkata. Next question: when was the Indian Railways nationalized? That is option C, 1951. Next question: which was the first train to flagged off by women loco pilot in India? Surekha Yadav. That is option B, Mumbai local. Next question: which is the first railway station in India to run entirely by women staff? That is option B, Gandhinagar, Jaipur. Next question: computerized passenger reservation system PRS was first introduced in which city? That is option B, New Delhi. Next question: how many railway zones are there in Indian Railways as of 2024? That is option C, 18. Where is the headquarters of Southern Railway located? That is option B, Chennai. Next question: which city serves as the headquarters for two different railway zones? That is option C, both Kolkata and Mumbai. Next question: where is the headquarters of the Northwestern Railway? That is option B, Jaipur. Next question: the headquarters of the East Coast Railway is located? That is option B, Bhubaneswar. That is option B, Bhubaneswar. Next question: where is the headquarters of South Central Railway? That is option A, Secunderabad. Next question: the headquarters of the West Central Railway is option B, Jabalpur. Next question: which zone is the largest Indian Railways in terms of the route kilometer? That is option B, Northern Railway. Next question: where is the headquarters of North East Frontier Railway? That is option A, Guwahati. Next question: the newest railway zone, South Coast Railway, announced 2019, is headquarters at? That is option C, Visakhapatnam. Next question: who heads a railway zone? That is option B, General Manager. Next question: the Research Design and Standard Organization RDSO is located in? that is option C, Lucknow. Next question, where is the National Academy of Indian Railways NAIR now renamed as GSV located at? That is option B, Vadodara. Next question, where is the Indian Railway Institute of Civil Engineering situated? That is option A, Pune. Next question, what is the official mascot of Indian Railways? That is option B, Bolu. Next question, which is the currently the fastest train operational in India as of 2024? That is option B, Vande Bharat Express. Next question, the Vande Bharat Express was originally known as? That is option A, Train 18. Next question, which train has the longest route in India, distance and time? That is option B, Vivek Express. Next question, the Vivek Express runs between? That is option B, Dibrugarh and Kanyakumari. Next question, which train covers the Golden Triangle and Rajasthan? That is option B, Palace on Wheels. Next question, the Maitri Express connects India with which country? That is option C, Bangladesh. Next question, the Sanjota Express currently suspended ran between? That is option B, India and Pakistan. Next question, which train service was introduced to connect the tier 2 cities with air-conditioned travel at affordable rates? That is option B, Garib Rath. Next question, Shatabdi Express trains were introduced to commemorate the 100th birth anniversary of? That is option B, Jawaharlal Nehru. Next question, which train is known as the Hospital on Wheel? That is option A, Red Ribbon. Next question, the Tejas Express is known as being India's first? That is option B, Corporate Private Run Train, IRCTC. Next question, the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway is popularly known as? That is option A, Toy Train. Next question, which train connects New Delhi to Varanasi and was the first Vande Bharat route? That is option C, Vande Bharat Express. Next question, what is the name of the fully unreserved superfast train for the common man? That is option B, Antyodaya. Next question, which train service is exactly for the freight goods? That is option B, that is ROR, roll on roll off. Next question, where is the Indigal coach factory located? That is option B, Porbandar. Next question, the trail coach factory is situated in? That is option A, Kapurthala. Next question, Chittaranjan Locomotive Works manufactures? That is option B, electric locomotives. Next question, where is the Diesel Locomotive Works, now Banaras Locomotive Works, located? That is option A, Varanasi. Next question, the rail wheel factory is located in? That is option A, Alanka, Bangalore. Next question, modern coach factory is located in? That is option C, Lalganj, Raebareli. Next question, where are the BEML, Bharat Earth Mover Limited rail coaches manufactured? That is option A, Bangalore. Next question, the Vande Bharat train were primarily manufactured at? That is option B, ICF, Chennai. Thank you for watching, friends. For more videos, like, share, subscribe.